going on, getting set for his team to take on these Duke Blue Devils. And we're underway, the penultimate game for the Panthers and the Blue Devils here in the regular season. The Panthers wearing the white jerseys here at home tonight, and Duke rather in those royal blue kits here on the road.
And the Panthers will play from left to right tonight, with the Blue Devils going from right to left.
Here is Luis Samcal getting an early opportunity. Tried to center one there, but denied on that back end. And Cameron Kerr, one of the players back for Duke. It's going to be out, and it's going to go for a throw for the Panthers. Kerr, the son of head coach John Kerr, both of his sons playing on this Duke team for him. So now the Panthers control on the far side of the pitch. They'll just send it all the way back, and running back is Jackson Gilman to get it. Gilman, a really talented defender for the Panthers. First look at Cabral Carter, their goalkeeper, has played every minute in goal. That is something, talk about players playing every game. Pitt has just lacked continuity throughout their lineup, much of it due to injury throughout the course of this season, as they are trying to find some chemistry here still late in the year. John Kerr, it's been the opposite story for him. His team has been fairly healthy and together this year, 16th year as their head coach. Has done a really, really nice job here this season with this Duke team. And really the last couple of years, after a couple of down years, they have started to really get back to some winning ways in Durham.
Yeah, Duke's been doing a tremendous job. Just 3 losses so far in this season, all in ACC play. But they're definitely a tough outfit. As you mentioned, consistent lineup, strong across the back. They're going to be well organized tonight and really look to give Pitt problems, press them, win the ball off them, and take their opportunities to score goals.
All right, on cue, we saw the 23 class last year. He was the consensus #1 rated goalkeeping recruit in the country in the class of 24. Decided, hey, I've had enough of high school. I'm ready to go to college. Duke was ready for him as well, because he's played every minute for them in goal so far this year, Julian Eyestone.
Yeah, and you don't hear about players reclassifying to get out early too much, so that's definitely unusual. But he's been as advertised this season for the Blue Devils, really making an impact in the back, the FC Dallas Academy product, and he's got 4 shutouts on the year, so he's been safe back there, really helping the team win and play strong D in front of him.
His hometown, Dallas, Texas, was the conference's defensive player of the week back in mid-September, as they try to work it ahead to Ajago, an early opportunity perhaps, and now Panthers break down a bit on the back end. They'll chip it on forward. Going after it is Periano, one of the captains of this Duke team, a senior. 2023 preseason All-ACC selection was Nick Periano, was on the second team in the conference at the end of last year as a junior.
Yeah, he's a Pennsylvania boy as well, coming out of Philadelphia in the YSC Academy out there on the other side of the state.
Guessing he won't be too thrown by the weather, but it is definitely chilly tonight. There is a fairly strong breeze blowing right now. It's kind of blowing into Duke's face as they attack this end.
And the Blue Devils have struggled away from home this season. Just 1 win in their away games. That was against Princeton. Haven't won any of their ACC away games. And one of the subjects we talked to the coaches about in the calls this week was the concept of playing on turf, artificial turf rather than natural grass. Duke's home field being a natural grass field, and Pitt, of course, playing on the artificial turf, which they like to get nice and wet before the game and really get that ball moving quick.
You know, it was interesting. Duke walked out as a team collectively onto the pitch maybe an hour and 45 minutes before the start of the match. And when they arrived here to Ambrose Urbanic, and they walked out, and the cannons started spraying the water on the field as well, so they got to see the field being moistened down, if you will, here in Pittsburgh. And Pitt makes no mistake about it. John Kerr talked a lot about it for the Duke side. He said, hey, they use that to their advantage. They like to go quickly. The ball skips, like you see it skip right there, much more than it does, say, on longer grass. And he said, you know, the Panthers, they play to it. They take advantage of the turf. They're good on turf. They do everything they can to get that edge. And then we asked Jay Vidovich about it. He said, yeah, that's exactly what we do. We try. We have artificial turf here, and we're going to try to take advantage of every break that we can can get from it, and Pitt's been very, very good here on their home turf. Here's Periano with it, avoids a slide there and stays on possession.
And we'll see Duke getting used to the artificial turf as this game wears on, and they'll get comfortable. They'll make adjustments. I'm sure they've been practicing on artificial turf this week, and so they'll have some knowledge of how the ball's going to work.
Now you see Jay Vidovich there, a couple of College Cup appearances in the last 3 seasons. They won 12 matches a year ago, fell to Indiana in the national semifinals.
Coach Vidovich really looking to get his team to get to the next level with this season. They are on the bubble in terms of being an NCAA team, so I'm sure they're looking for another regular season win, and this is a good opportunity here at home tonight. Their final game next week is at Notre Dame, a traditionally tough place to go and play for any side.
Notre Dame's been very, very good this year. You see, it's kind of a recap of the Pitt year to this point. They have won 3 of their last 5 with a draw in there as well. Very balanced attack. They don't have quite the firepower from a goal-scoring standpoint that they did when they made the College Cup a year ago. But Mirkovic is a guy that, while he has not scored yet this season, he has definitely facilitated a lot for them. Right now, Duke applying some pressure in that attacking third.
Mirkovic definitely the engine that makes Pitt go, and I know that's going to be part of the Duke game plan, is to try to jam him up and not give him opportunities to pick out those passes into space.
A long run, Evan McIntyre down that left wing, going to send it across. Eyestone, though, sliding down to get to that. As you take a look at Filip Mirkovic, came into the year on the Herman Trophy watch list, ranked 16th in Top Drawer Soccer's preseason rankings. Cabral Carter will scoop that up.
Hard to believe that Mirkovic is a senior already. I feel like he's, you know, almost just got here, but his 4 years is almost up, and he'll be looking to definitely see if he can maximize the number of games he can still play in a Pitt shirt, and see if he can help him go on a run, not just in the ACC tournament, but in the national tournament.
And when we talked to Jay Vidovich this week about Mirkovic, he said, you know, he's pretty motivated right now to make sure that this is not the last game that he plays here in Pittsburgh, that he wants another couple of games maybe here at Ambrose Urbanic, and that would be in the NCAA tournament.
And in kind of projecting the rankings or seedings for the ACC tournament, I do have Pitt hosting a game right now as the 7 seed against North Carolina, who would be the 10, but obviously with the number of games still to be played, that can change.
A push from behind there, as that is Mirkovic hitting the deck. The last thing Pitt wants to see is an athletic trainer come out onto a field right now. They have been really beleaguered with injuries. You take a look, just some heavy contact from behind there by Bull Jorgensen.
Yeah, he's getting into the back of him, and, you know, as we mentioned, that's part of Duke's plan, is to disrupt Mirkovic and in turn disrupt the Panthers.
And pressure, pressure, pressure. That is what John Kerr told us about their plan with Mirkovic. Just pressure the ball every time he touches it. You want to be incredibly disruptive on him.
Duke are well drilled, as you talked about. They've had a really consistent lineup all year, so players understand their responsibilities and their roles.
Mirkovic just going to chip this one down that right side. Raphael Sealy going in after it, but could not get to it quick enough.
That's definitely been part of Pitt's MO the last few weeks. When they've had success, they've been able to release Sealy down the right-hand side, free up their fullback into space, allow him to provide some service into the box or take a shot himself. He's got a couple goals in his last 3 games.
Here he is now. Raphael Sealy out of Turquoise, France.
Very good with the pronunciations. I was just going to say France.
I looked up Turquoise. I got to be honest with you. I looked it up to make sure I got the. I hope that I'm getting the pronunciation right of his hometown.
I know you've been reading up on Raphael Sealy as well.
Yeah, he found a great nugget. His brother's name is Lancelot, which That is about as cool of a name as you could possibly have, Lancelot.
Especially for a Frenchman, too. You know, you figure that from an Englishman, but that's quite the nod of respect from a French family. I appreciate it.
Pitt trying to break out here with Cabral Carter. As here is Philippe Mercado.
Great ball.
Into the area, down the left wing. And McIntyre.
Couldn't quite get it off his foot. I wanted to see him have a shot there. Seemed to get a bit clogged up by the Duke defenders.
McIntyre, a local product. A couple of local players from Western Pennsylvania here on this Pitt team. McIntyre from Charleroi, PA, located south of Pittsburgh.
I saw a number of members of the Charleroi soccer team down here tonight, here to support their former teammate.
David, I did not have to look up how to pronounce Charleroi. I had that one in the bank already.
Years of practice.
Here's Mercado in the middle, takes a long stab at it, but it's going to sail wide, and that'll be down for a goal kick.
Some nice work there by Mercado, distributing. He was able to find McIntyre on that play, and if Duke is going to button up Filip Mirkovic, and that will allow more space and time for Mercado to maybe do a little bit more of the assisting tonight.
Saw that look at McIntyre. Scored 167 goals in his high school career. That's the 4th most in Pennsylvania state history among high school players.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That is a lot.
He's looked bright early in this game too. You could see that Pitt's found him a couple times out there on the left-hand side. He's been able to run at his defender, challenge that matchup.
Well, that's Jorgensen there again. Bo Jorgensen out of Norway.
Seems like he's working on getting himself a card in this one. Definitely getting into the Panthers. But the physicality is definitely a staple of ACC play.
He is taking the spot tonight of Wayne Frederick, who is suspended for this match.
Frederick's suspended for card accumulation.
Sam Cow trying to get in behind the D, but he's offside.
Sam Cow's been battling injuries as well, so it's good to see him in the lineup. Definitely a difference maker for Pitt. Judged to be out in front of the last defender and in an offside position there.
And Jay Vidovich told us that Sam Cow played against Duquesne in that 2-0 loss, but kind of indirectly indicated that he was sort of battling through it in that match against Duquesne, the 2-0 Pitt win, the city game.
Yeah, Pitt went to Virginia last weekend and not only took the loss but took a beating as well. They lost a number of players to injuries in that game, Albert Thorson being one of them, so he's out tonight. Matisse Lefebvre from the back line also out due to injury sustained at the Virginia game.
Abdoulaye Touré, another one of those that we saw him go through the warm-up in pregame. Not sure about his availability. There he is. Take a look at the guys out. Joao Souza, Albert Thorson, Matisse Lefebvre, and Abdoulaye Touré.
Yeah, not sure if we'll see Touré or not, but he's a difference maker if he does get out on the field. There you see Lefebvre, unavailable tonight.
Should note, too, that it's also senior night here for Pitt. They honored a couple of guys who Jay Vidovich said is just kind of heartbroken for him that they are not able to play their senior night match because of injury. But I think at the same time, Pitt is hoping that there is another long run in them. They're sitting with an RPI of 22 coming into tonight. 25 auto bids to the NCAA tournament. The one thing Pitt has going for it is strength of schedule. The biggest thing they have going for them, I should say, is strength of schedule, where they're second in the country, and that might advance after tonight. So here's a ball in and a header that's going to go high. Cabral Carter came out to defend that, and flying in was Antino Lopez, one of their back line players. Boy, what a look here.
Great service played in. Tino's able to get his head on it, but he can't bring it down enough. Flies over the crossbar. But Duke's dangerous from set pieces, and they'll be looking to score in that manner all night long. Well,
and here's a low cross trying to get it to Ajago, but behind him and the Panthers clear. They're on their heels a bit now after the near chance. Comrancito works it over to Ruben Masalis, and that ball touched Duke with their arms up, maybe believing that ball had gone out.
Yeah, they definitely wanted a corner there, but Maufu was able to keep it in.
Here's Michael Sullivan, another one of those Western PA guys from Deer Lakes High School.
Pitt struggling to put their foot on the ball right now. They want to reestablish their possession, but they're not able to control it. Now Duke's coming back the other way.
Periano turning it. Low bouncer. Hops in quickly on Carter, who has been busy early.
Yeah, and they've definitely been targeting Forster Ajago in the middle there. Provides a great target man. Bjornsson was playing the ball in the last time through, and then they just got service in again from that right-hand side.
5 clean sheets for Carter this year, 3rd most in the ACC.
Carter's been really impressive for Pitt back there. Hard to break him down. He really comes off his line well, plays with his feet well, so he's able to help his team possess and build out.
A guy that might have gotten some time last year as a freshman, but he went through some injuries, comes out of Los Angeles. But Jay Vidovich, really high on him, said that he has a unique skill set as a keeper and that he's a perfectionist, which those sound like good characteristics for a keeper, especially that second one. See Mirkovic come up to assist the outbreak here.
Pitt definitely patient in the build. They're happy to hold on to it, knock the ball about, look for points to attack.
Well, nicely headed forward. Now a little give and go with it. Low cross, and it's going to be steered out as that was McIntyre trying to set that up. Boy, a great give and go for the Panthers as they'll earn a corner.
Cameron Aceto did a great job of cutting out that service as well. McIntyre was looking to drive it through. See there, Feitosa with the run, connects with McIntyre, who provides a service across, looking for Samkow, but Aceto is able to cut it out.
And Guilherme Feitosa, a couple goals, couple assists for him this year. Member of the ACC All-Freshman team back in 2021, a freshman All-American as well that year.
Pitt's been dangerous from corners this season, scoring a number of goals from these set-piece opportunities.
They have the guy that loves to set him up, and Mirkovic to take the corner. Philip Mirkovic in swinging ball, punched out of there by Julian Eystone. Good read by the freshman keeper. Panthers still on it, however. They'll get another chance. Loose in the area and knocked back out as Sullivan will come back out to tap it down.
Ajago biking it out of the back there. Very impressive.
A guy with an offensive mindset playing some defense on that occasion. Maufo, Matteo Maufo with it for Pitt. Another one of those players from France. 3 assists for him this year. He also leads Pitt in yellow cards picked up as well. Speaks to his physicality. Panthers back on it. Samkow. Samkow top of the area. Low shot. It's going to go wide, but they had a guy crashing there on the back door, and Rafael Sealy.
Pitt's had some success finding space in that attacking third there. They've been able to find some soft spaces to build up their attack. You see there Mirkovic getting the ball to Samkow. It's kind of a half shot, half pass to Silly. Goes out for a Duke goal kick.
Duke had the arms up, thinking that it had been offside anyhow.
Now it's Pitt's turn to press, forcing the Blue Devils back in their own half.
They put some pressure there on Kenny Hott and company. Hott, a member of the All-ACC freshman team a year ago, very highly regarded player coming into this year. And a little too handsy there from Hott. Just kind of stopping there was Felipe Mercado.
Yeah,
he just sort of stopped and looked at the ref and said, are you going to blow the whistle or not? And the ref then did.
Sometimes you just got to ask them nicely.
J.C. Griggs, referee tonight, in the middle. Just over 20 minutes in, these two teams, a couple of chances back and forth so far, as you would expect. Duke maybe the better of the opportunities. Try to get it to McIntyre down the left side. Now stepping up to help is Feitosa. Good turn by Feitosa. Good run.
Nice work.
All over him, but steps through it all.
Got the ball on a string on his foot.
Mirkovic nearly turns it over, but Feitosa back with it. Feitosa off to Sam Cow. Now Mirkovic looking for his first of the year, but it's going to go wide.
Pile driver from Mirkovic. Feitosa was buzzing around the box, and he was able to provide the ball to, it was Sam Cow, sorry, knocks it back to Mirkovic, has a drive, just a little bit drifting on him, sailing a little bit high.
That really all started, though, David, by the effort of Guilherme Feitosa out of Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, Feitosa's been improving game by game, missed a lot of games this season due to injury, but since he's been back, he's really been making a difference for Pitt.
Feitosa from Salvador, Brazil, then moved to Rio, then to Paris. He's now a French citizen. You see Sealy and Feitosa there. Last 3 games, 4 goals. They had not scored before that. Perhaps given some of Pitt's injuries here of late, they have found a different way to produce. Ajago applying pressure there.
First year of college soccer for Silly. He's really been growing into that right back position and learning the college game. Starting to really get forward and provide an offensive difference in these games as well. And he's getting better just at the right part of the season.
Played for Marc Olympique in France for a year. Raphael Sealy. Now a whistle blows.
I think the growler might be bleeding and might need to get that sorted out. Ref's asking him to just step off. Yeah, he's got some blood coming down from his nose or his mouth.
Yeah, you're right. Fabian Grau. Take a look at this. Does he get clipped here by Ajago? Foot, cleat, mouth, yeah. So he'll be tended to. Looked like maybe under the chin as well.
Both teams getting a little injury timeout, so the coaching staffs will be happy. Get a word with their team, make a couple adjustments. I always wish that I had a timeout as a soccer coach, and so I'm jealous right now. I was very impressed by the water break timeout when that was added when it got real hot.
We will not be having that tonight, however. The water break, the mandated water break due to heat. Temperatures in the low 50s with a steady breeze as you look at John Kerr. 16th year at the helm. Talking about players playing internationally. John Kerr, the first American to play in the Premier League. Did that as a player, but has put together a really nice career after coming in from Harvard, coaching these Duke Blue Devils.
Yeah, he's a legend for the Duke Blue Devils. Won their only national championship as a player. He's got his kids on the team there. You see Cameron Kerr. Drew is also on the team. Talks about the fact that he's living a dream, having his 2 sons on the team with him. So sometimes there's some difficult decisions that need to be made, and he has to separate being a dad from being their coach, but he loves every second of it. He feels that he's really blessed to be in the situation he's in right now.
Well, not only his 2 sons, but his daughter Alexandra is a really, really good player at Texas Tech, played at Vanderbilt, then transferred to be a Red Raider this year. And his wife, Tracy, was a standout player in the 90s at Virginia. So a Blue Devil, a Who, and a Red Raider, and a couple more Blue Devils in that family.
Yeah, big-time soccer family for sure. And how fun is that to be able to coach your kids? And for the boys, how fun to be on the same team together. You know, that's a special time. Only got to play on the same team as my brother a couple times, and definitely really enjoyed it.
And there is a look at the other Kerr, Drew.
Funny thing, I was looking through the stats. Drew has 2 goals on the season. Cameron has no goals, so I'm sure that's something that gets brought up at the dinner table, how Drew's got more goals than Cameron.
Then Cameron probably says, yeah, well, look at the minutes that I've gotten to play.
Sure.
And the starts that I've been able to make. And
that's right.
They go back and forth.
And they start hitting each other.
Maybe kicking each other.
Yeah.
Pitt trying to get back on it. They work it free to McIntyre. Eben McIntyre is shot from an angle, and it's going to go high and wide. That's set up by Mercado. Well, you said it earlier, David. Eben McIntyre, he is buzzing right now. Those bright pink shoes, you can't miss them.
Yeah, I think he'd probably want that one back. He wasn't able to find the target. But it was a good build-up play by Pitt. Mercado finding McIntyre. McIntyre didn't seem entirely comfortable getting the shot off his foot.
Olfer Bjornsson down that left side takes a spill. Got tied up with Sealy.
Duke's going to have another opportunity for a set piece. Very dangerous off these free kick plays.
See Sealy close here. Too much.
I think he's feeling
his case.
Yeah, he's feeling like the contact was drawn, but he went to ground early and gave the player an opportunity to fall over his feet.
An intriguing spot here to take this for the Blue Devils. Masalas and Periano right and left. It's Periano to take and head it out, and look who it is. It's the man who committed the foul. I'll put back on, trying to get behind. It's going to be an offside play. The flag is up. Mentioned that it's a cold night, but you've certainly been able to hear the crowd. It's a nice crowd on hand here tonight. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, they do get some nice attendances here at Pitt, even when there's other things going on. I know tonight Pittsburgh Riverhounds are home in the first round of their USL playoffs, so it's a credit to the Panthers that they're able to get these big soccer crowds even when there's other things going on in the city and other soccer games going on in the city. So really good time out for the family here watching the Panthers at Ambrose Urbanic Field.
Long ball down the pitch, and Feitosa offside. David, I was making my way here earlier and went past the Riverhounds Academy. It was buzzing with youth players. Soccer in this area has really taken off. The Panthers' success, a very large part of that, obviously having a USL team that has had some really tremendous success in recent years, and the Riverhounds has helped with that as they work in deep. Look out, it's a Jago trying to center it, but nobody home for the Blue Devils. Well, back to it, Cameron Kerr.
That was problems right there, and if Duke had a second runner into the box, they could have capitalized, but no one was there, and Eben McIntyre was able to clear it out.
Down the field it goes, headed forward by Antino Lopez, the Las Vegas native. Played for the Seattle Sounders Academy. Also played briefly in Minnesota at Shattuck St. Mary's, which locals here in Pittsburgh may know that name. That's where Sidney Crosby, the Pittsburgh Penguins, played in high school. So they produce some talented players, no question. Of course, he played on the ice. Santino Lopez will restart here.
Sid can play soccer as well, though. You know that, right?
I'm sure he can. I'm sure he can. Oh, look out. Carter at the top of the box there. Just going to redirect it out. That ball got there perhaps slower than he anticipated.
Yeah, for sure. Couldn't wait any longer.
Mirkovic calmly will try to bust it out here for the Panthers. Filip Mirkovic. Sealy's been active on this near side, finds Michael Sullivan. Now a chip forward, running is Feitosa. Running with him is Bull Jorgensen. Right back Sealy's way.
Pitt's really been positive in their possession tonight. They've seen a lot of the ball and really had some nice build-up play.
Headed into the area, but back out. And a clear attempt, but that caught Periano on the back.
Both these teams like to play the game. They've got the ball on the ground. They're knocking it about. Some teams come here just to defend, sit back and get behind the ball. Duke's come to play. They've been getting forward whenever they have opportunities, looking to counter and press on their own. Pitt's been finding some space on the field and been able to get good build going themselves.
Try to touch it forward to Samkow, and now a battle for it. Diving down, Periano falls on the ball.
Periano's been very active in this first half so far. Stretching out offensively, coming back defensively, really being a stalwart in the middle of the midfield there.
They try to send it long for Forrester Ajago. Now a foul called against Ajago.
A little tangled up.
Mentioned that he started his career at Delaware 2020. He played actually 1 year collegiately at a university in Ghana, his home country, Evrongo, Ghana.
Good physical presence up top, beautiful finishing touch as well. Been able to score in a number of different ways, and Pitt's not going to be able to take their eye off him for a second tonight. He can cause a lot of damage in a quick time. When
you consider the school that he went to in Ghana as well, this is now the 4th university that he has played soccer at in his life. In Ghana, then Delaware, then went to Dayton for 2 seasons. He was second team All A10 as a senior last year, scoring 7 goals.
Got himself a nice little East Coast tour going.
Delaware, Ohio, and now down to North Carolina. He has been, I think, most impressive, though, at this level, which is really saying something. I mean, it's one thing, A10, some good soccer in the A10, there's no question about it, but to have the success that he has had now elevating against ACC competition and putting up 11 goals this year. You see the ACC rankings, 5th in the nation in goals as well.
And he's scored consistently through the season as well. You know, I mean, it's not like he was hot at the beginning and then cooled off. He's been consistently finding the back of the net, and he's just been a difference maker for this team.
Yeah, 6 goals in his last 6 games. He stands there in the middle as they send this in. A low attempt perhaps there for a moment, but nothing happening.
Jorgensen had a chance to get a header on target, but it kind of glanced off his head.
Was Masalas who swung that ball in.
Nice delivery. Look there, if he's got good contact there and is able to turn it down into the net, that's a goal for Duke, but he wasn't able to get a good connection.
And then on the other side of him, you saw Acito there, Cameron Acito. He gets a foot on that. It's in the back of the goal. Duke continues staying on it. And now a shot and a save for Carter. That one maybe was going to sneak wide anyhow, but Carter getting down to it.
Good goalkeeping there. Kenny Hart with the shot.
Was set up by Drew Kerr. And might have snuck in, maybe off the inside of the post, perhaps. Had Carter not come out to it. Over half an hour in, Carter and the Panthers, no score.
Sam Cowell and Lopez been going at it all night long. Really good match up there. Lopez been doing a good job of keeping Sam Cowell relatively quiet, not letting him impact or disrupt this game to this point. But lots of space all over the field, lots of areas for these teams to work through.
That one flipped forward by Mirkovic.
It's Luka Kozumara over there on the far side now. He replaced Eben McIntyre at left wing.
Now turning my UFO. Felipe Mercado. There's their playmaker, and Filip Mirkovic. Trying to send it into Sullivan, but coming out is Julian Eyestone. Well, Pitt, David, they just kind of lull you to sleep sometimes a little bit, and then boom, they just hit you so quickly, and we nearly saw it there. And Mirkovic just so calm getting it off to Sam Cowell. Sullivan, good job by Acito to fend Sullivan off as well and give his keeper the opportunity to grab that.
Yeah, they keep working at it. They're probing. They're definitely looking for a way to break down the Blue Devils' back line. And the thing with Pitt is they stay patient. They're not going to compromise their game plan or what they're looking to do. So they're going to keep looking for ways to break down the Duke back line. Change a point of attack. Try some different combinations, some different personnel. See if they can find a way through. But they've definitely looked lively in the final third.
That ball sent into Kozumara. Luka Kozumara coming on as a sub, a transfer from Temple. Kozumara, a junior, 3 goals for him this year. Periano trying to send it down to Masalis. Masalis, low cross. Footed out of there, and now with it is Sullivan trying to break out for Pitt the other way. Ooh, Sullivan, the shimmy and go. Trying to hang with him is Jorgensen, and now Sam Cowell. Sam Cowell just lost his footing on it.
Yeah, he had a lot of work to do there. Didn't have a lot of help. Lopez was able to take it off his foot.
Sam Cowell comes back a little too aggressive. He takes down Kenny Hott from behind.
Been an entertaining first half to this point. Both teams having chances, trading possession.
Well, there's a hard takedown from behind, and foul signaled here. This is going to go against Drew Kerr. Both of these teams, and we'll certainly talk about it when we get to the second half, they have both been second half teams.
Yeah, for sure. John Kerr talked about the fact we should just start the game at halftime because both teams do so well with their scoring in the second half. So, yeah, I think that this was definitely the prequel to the main event, you know. The second half is definitely going to be where it's at, and no surprises that it's been cagey, but both teams having good runs of possession and testing out the other, but the true answers are going to come in the second half for sure.
Yeah, he said we may as well just start the match in the second half, right? There's probably some fans who are chilly right now who might not fight that point, as there's a man down here for Duke. And that is Bull Jorgensen. Remember, he is filling in tonight in that starting order for Wayne Frederick.
Yeah, he's put himself about today. Pretty good work for a freshman, and he's seen some time this season, but this is a good opportunity for him.
All right there, just got his foot stepped on. Appeared to be accidental by Mirkovic.
Yeah, a bit twisted up there.
And when it's cold like this, those type of injuries, I think, hurt even worse. So they'll give him a moment. Bull Jorgensen from Norway. You see John Kerr there. They have dipped into Scandinavian countries, Norwegian areas, and Iceland as well. They've Ulfur Bjornsson, who they call Wolfie, he has become the 4th Icelandic player in the last 4 years to play for these Blue Devils.
Yeah, it's been a good recruiting avenue for them, and they brought over some really strong players from Iceland and other Scandinavian countries.
I asked him, I said, what's the connection? How do you get these guys? And he said, I can't tell you all of my secrets. I said, okay, fair enough, fair enough.
Well, it has been a good source of talent for them to be able to bring in top players. A lot of them have experience at different levels over there. Hard workers, smart kids.
And I said, if you know anything about players from that area, they're very intelligent, both on and off the pitch. And he said that lines up particularly the off the pitch side with what they have at Duke, obviously an excellent academic institution. So it really helps them maybe lure players away from their country when they know that they're going to get the education at Duke like they receive.
Yeah, he talked about recruiting more smart soccer junkies. So doesn't just want good players, he wants guys with good academic IQs as well as soccer IQs, and wants to help put them on a platform of success beyond the college years.
This is senior night for Pitt. They also have about 60 to 100 alumni back this weekend as well. They played an alumni game here earlier. You see some of the alumni and families of alumni over there. The ceremony at halftime. Joe Luxbacher goes into the program's Hall of Fame as well. The former Panthers coach from 1984 to 2015. As some subs come in here for the Blue Devils. Luke Thomas steps on. Fahmi Ibrahim is in, as you see Joe Luxbacher back there. Duke also bringing in Miguel Ramirez.
Both coaches making some adjustments, seeing if they can find some answers the last 6 or 7 minutes of the half.
Pitt has stepped on Santiago Ferreira as well.
And Ferreira will play attacking center midfield. Feitosa pushed out wide right.
Here is Drew Kerr with it. Ball misplayed on the back end. Kerr with a shot with the left foot, and it's wide.
Must have got a deflection because Duke's going to have a corner now, and that was a dangerous opportunity created by the Blue Devils. Drew Kerr cutting in from the right-hand side, is able to get a shot off. So he's been definitely adding to the Duke offense since he came on.
Periano will take the corner in and headed high and over, and that was the Bull. Bull Jorgensen.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of him in this first half, and so he's definitely earning the shirt tonight, stepping up as a replacement for Frederick. He's been putting himself about really well. That's the second time they've tried to connect with him on a corner. If you're Pitt, you're going to want to limit the number of set-piece opportunities you give Duke. Certainly, I feel like that's where their best chances have come from in this first half.
Good work by Periano to get that off to Kerr. Now they come quickly. Look out, it's to the right side. And a low shot and a save made by Cabral Carter on Ibrahim. First good look for Fahmi Ibrahim. He brings a lot of speed for them off of the bench. A mature player who transferred in from Cal.
Yeah, he's going to shoot the ball as well. One thing that his statistics provide is he definitely likes to get shots off, so he's not going to wait around on it. He's going to get the ball and fire it off his foot, put it on target.
Trying to one-touch that forward was Feitosa. The Blue Devils certainly, I think, with the better of the play here, David, over the last 5 to 10 minutes. They seem to have possessed more, but still no score. So we have 5 minutes to play here in the first, and now maybe a counter chance with Sam Cow and company for the Panthers, but he can't control it.
Yeah, heavy touch. Allowed Lopez to take it off him.
Antino Lopez swings it back to Jorgensen. And they have Jorgensen, Bull. They have Bjornsson, who goes by Wolfie. And then Ajago, the bear. His celebration, his goal celebration, where he puts the paws up.
So you got the bull, the bear, and the wolf.
That's right. They try to get it to the bear right there, but
the growl cut it out. The growler.
The growler denies the bear. No honey for that bear this time. Panthers back with it. A step over move and taken down as Maufo, stolen away.
Nice tackle.
Jorgensen trying to get it through to Ajago. Waits, sends it back. Luke Thomas shot on a diving stop by Cabral Carter. Carter has been very active here in this first half.
Yeah, and more recently, Duke's been able to get a few more shots on target, and so Carter's been tested more. Luke Thomas having a rip there.
We have not seen much of Julian Eystone in a while. The keeper at the other end for the Blue Devils.
I think part of that's because Tino Lopez has been doing such a good job kind of taking care of Louis Samkow there.
More speed from Duke. Here's Ajago with it. Puts on the brakes, fends off a man, and then drops it off. Looking for Thomas. Crosses it into the box. Trying for another header is Ajago, but off the mark.
Pitt playing with fire a little bit too much right now, giving the Blue Devils opportunities in their box.
Duke seems to be smelling blood in the water as well. They keep on surging, keeping Pitt on its heels.
First goal in any game, oh so important, especially in these games.
Periano furious.
Don't think he liked that call, Josh.
Yeah, let's say not. He's limping as well coming away from there. Maufo, watch here. Little contact at the side, Maufo going down.
Yeah, he's a crafty player, Maufo. He's able to use his body just to sort of get himself in the way of Periano, and Periano's got to sort of give him a shove to get by him. So he does a good call, a good job of winning the foul.
Ball knocked down by Amir Daly. One of those strong players on this backside for Duke. Very consistent on that back end. They have the triple A's, if you will, Amir Daly, Cameron Acito, and Antino Lopez on that backside, and those three very consistent in their play. As here is Ajago with it again. Ajago crossing the field with the left foot. It will roll out as Drew Kerr cannot get to that, right in front of all the Pitt alumni waiting for the ceremonies at half.
And Duke's able to get the ball forward way too quickly there. They played it across their back line, up the left-hand side, through Luke Thomas, and it was straight to Ajago, who was able to provide service. 2, 3, 4 passes, and they go from the back line up to the front. And so that's definitely too easy in terms of the penetration, and Pitt's going to have to do a better job of putting a stop to that.
Look out, this ball dangerously crossed into the box and then back out. By the way, good to see none of the alumni on crutches or in a boot or anything like that after the alumni match here earlier today, as that ball chipped in and Cabral Carter out for that.
Carter immediately looking, trying to get the ball back into play and get the Panthers going the other way, and now Pitt's looking to see if they can get on the score sheet before halftime.
And Pitt has not possessed in the attacking third in quite a while. Mirkovic, though, springing that out. Panthers trying for something late here in the half. Time winding down in its final seconds. And these two teams, they are skilled groups in the second half.
Yeah, it's set up really nice for the second half, isn't it?
That one's sent in and knocked out as the clock will hit 45 here in the first half. We reach halftime, and the Duke Blue Devils this year, this is a good spot for them. 7-0 when... Well, we'll talk to someone from Duke. Maybe they have some snacks to pass along to David here in the second half. We'll have to turn his mic down, but back at it here, second half underway.
Everything to play for. We'll see what adjustments have been made at halftime. I did ask both coaches what halftime adjustments they'd been making all season that led to their second half successes, but neither of them really gave me much. They both just talked about basically keeping moving the ball well and finding the soft areas that they can build up in.
Yeah, both of them said too, David, that it's just kind of the nature of things sometimes. Second half, they felt like they were the fresher of the teams in a lot of games in the second half, and I think Duke in particular has been that way this year.
Coach Kerr talking about the fact that things just open up more in the second half.
That ball crossed in. Periano with a chance early here in the second half, but Cabral Carter keeps on with his strong play.
It was a good look, and it was on target. He just wasn't really able to pick a corner to get it past the goalkeeper. A good early chance for Duke, though.
Sam Cow now drops it off with it. Mirkovic, and they reverse it back near side to Maufo. Feitosa splits it through. A chance maybe for Sam Cow. Puts on the brakes, delays, crosses, looking into the danger spot, but it's cleared far side by Duke. Both teams in the early stages, a minute and a half into this second half with looks.
Yeah, you see this Duke chance first. Periano just sort of getting it mid-stride. He wasn't able to get a clean strike on it.
And now back, a ball crossed into the box, out of the hands of Eyestone for a moment, but then he's able to just snag it. And Duke comes back. This one looking more like a tennis match right now, the way it's going back and forth.
Yeah, and you see things have opened up immediately in the second half.
Periano got it from Bjornsson and stolen away nicely by Sealy. Be calming things down a tad, Mateo Maufo. And that one too heavy by Feitosa. Taking a look back at this last opportunity for Pitt, you see Silly likes to hop up in the play. Eyestone off a hand. Boy, that one, if there's a Pitt man there, could have been in the back of the net, but no one home for the Panthers. Now Mirkovic with it for Pitt, trying to get it out to Sullivan. His slide couldn't get there, and Ruben Masalis does have it. Product of IMG Academy, Sarasota, Florida. Masalis, his dad played for the Spanish futsal national team. His grandfather played in La Liga as a goalkeeper as well. Soccer in the family. Amazing when you go through these teams how many of them have that. Mom, dad, uncle, someone in the family has been involved in the game at a high level.
Yeah, it's funny. You did some really good digging, get into some of these guys and see some of their heritage. But absolutely, it all runs down through the generations.
Sealy, well, he just plays from end to end. Rafael Sealy. Staying in there is Ibrahim to begin the second half.
Definitely a lot of space out there right now, so we'll see if either team's able to capitalize on having a bit more room to play into. Now on a run, Mirkovic, left-footed pass ahead. The Panthers with some steam. They get it into Feitosa. Feitosa, a chance, low shot, and it's just going to go wide for Pitt. A golden opportunity for Feitosa. Going to be a corner for Pitt. Not sure if the goalie got a hand to it, but it took a touch before it went out of play. See Sam Cow coming in from the right-hand side, finds Feitosa. Looks like it just got a hand on it to tip it around the post.
Right there, just gets a piece of it. Julian Eystone, not sure if that kept it out or not, but a big touch regardless for Duke. And now Pitt with a corner here in the 50th minute. Ball to the back post, headed out of there by Bjornsson. Still, though, in the area, not cleared completely, and it comes down to Samkow, and his swing of the foot goes wide.
Feel like he just kind of rushed that opportunity a little bit. Maybe had a little bit more time to get on the end of it. The ball bouncing around after the corner. Grau heads it on. Gilman heads it on. Samkow can't quite find it on target.
Up ahead to Jago as he works it back to Amir Daly. And long ball down the pitch to the far side, right in front of the Panthers bench.
Big switch by the Blue Devils.
Masalis working in there, and it's going to go out. Sullivan back, helping in the end.
Duke working quickly, quick throw, gets the ball back in. No time to rest for Pitt.
Periano dancing, lays it off Masalis' way. 3 goals for him this year. Now Pitt able to stand up to it. Long ball up the field, and it's a little too much for Samkow, and the ball out of play.
Couldn't quite get it under control, but they tried to break in behind the Duke back line.
We're seeing Pitt, I think, move with far more speed than we did in the latter stages of that first half.
Yeah, and I feel like there is more space open. Things have opened up. As it was alluded to by the coach in midweek, things open up in the second half, and we've already seen it so far in this second half. Both teams going for it with a bit more urgency, looking to find a way through. Talked many times about the importance of the first goal, but you can see both teams really trying to push for it.
Mayufo leaving it off to Feitosa. Now back to Feitosa, but it's just past him. And look out, Eystone sees something down the field and goes long. 2-on-2 back there as Pitt will get back defensively. They strengthen up in that spot. Now Eben McIntyre will just head it back, and settling it down once again is Mateo Mayufo.
Now we'll have a little pause for breath. End-to-end action to start the second half, though.
Looking for McIntyre. They get it to him. Now Feitosa with it. Looks like he maybe lost his footing.
Maybe slipped.
Now that header strong into Mirkovic. McIntyre maybe losing an edge there again. And it's out over the near side. Both teams saying it should be their throw. It's going to be Duke's. Filip Mirkovic had 4 assists in a game this year against FDU. 4 of his 9 on the year. Had a couple against Wake Forest. A big win that was for the Panthers. They really kind of dominated that match against the Demon Deacons.
Yeah, it was definitely the win of the season for Pitt so far. Definitely the landmark victory of their season to this point.
Here is Sullivan with it. A crowd gathers around him. He backs it out. Mirkovic, look out. They want to pressure him when he's in these situations. Oh, just calmly dish it over Seeley's way. Mirkovic, they hound him, but he steps through. Great work by Filip Mirkovic, the senior.
Duke, good job getting numbers back behind the ball.
Heavy contact and a foul against the Panthers. Watch this again from Mirkovic. In a phone booth, David.
Yeah, it's just great footwork. Really impressive. And that's what he does. He just distributes. His coach calls him the metronome. He keeps everything ticking along. Keeps the timing and the balance of this Pitt team. Dominant with the ball at his feet, that's for sure.
Very curious to know how many people have been nicknamed the metronome before, but it's neither here nor there.
Not too many.
Minute Minute 55 here. Long send down the field. Back is Jackson Gilman.
Great control by Gilman there. Bring it down on his foot and settle down the play. Had a Jago breathing down his neck.
Gilman, one of the captains, wearing the captain's band for Pitt.
He's the captain. He's the only one.
You're right.
And apparently made himself the captain. We don't know if his mum got him a armband for Christmas, but he just apparently showed up to camp with it. Hasn't taken it off. There's also speculation that Jackson Walty gave it to him, so we're not quite sure how he became the captain, but he brought his own armband from home, that's for sure.
Jackson may be playing favoritism given the similarities in first names there, perhaps. You mentioned Walty going on to play professionally. This Pitt team lost 3 pros off of last year's team. They had 3 players drafted in the MLS draft. They had some real talent. And now this year, I mean, they essentially, if you go down their roster, David, 19 players who really were not a part of what they did on the field last year. As that ball to a Jago will come down to Carter. Yeah,
and I think we don't talk about that piece enough, to be honest with you. Just the level of talent that they lost off this team, and to be able to still be competitive in the ACC with a virtually new or inexperienced cast of characters is really impressive for Pitt. A lot of players have stepped up this year. I know that they haven't started the same lineup twice, been working through injuries and learning about the depth that they have available to them. So it's really been impressive to see how Pitt has responded to the new challenges and having a newer lineup and a less experienced lineup this year.
And I think, too, as you take a look at the continuity issues that Pitt has had, I mean, Duke, 12 players that have appeared in every game. Pitt only has 3 players on their roster who have appeared in every single game this year. And Jay Vidovich talked about how chemistry has definitely been a challenge. They're late in the year, but they're still trying to find it. They're hoping they could do enough to get into the national tournament. Obviously, they would like to make noise in the ACC tournament as well, but they want to do some special things late. But he knows and they know that they need to find more balance, more chemistry, more togetherness based off of just the amount of new faces. And not only that, but the guys just really haven't been together at Pitt that much this year. They just have not been able to get a lot of minutes played under their belts as a collective.
Yeah, and as a result, the team hasn't really been able to go on a run where they've strung together a number of wins. It's been sort of an up and down season results-wise.
Abdoulaye Touré in for the Panthers here. He was questionable day-to-day with an injury. Did not play against Duquesne in their last match. But Touré, a player with 2 goals, 2 assists this year. Another player out of France for this Pitt team. They love to dip in to that country for talent and have for years now under Jay Vidovich.
Touré is a dangerous winger. They'll be looking to connect with him and see if he can use some of his pace and athleticism down that right-hand side.
He is new to this program. Played for a 5th-tier pro club team in France. That ball steered aside by Sealy, who continues to be disruptive at both ends. Now Touré with it, trying to fend off him, and he's just grabbed. Pitt's bench not pleased with that, and there's the yellow.
So the first card of the game.
It is.
That's impressive in itself. Definitely a well-earned card, but for such a physical game, it's surprising that's the first card there. And you can see it's Masalis is just pulling on Touré right in front of the ref, so going to get himself a card for that one.
Sealy saying, hey, how about a yellow? The official says, I was going to do it anyways. I imagine that's how the conversation
went. Very much so.
That ball sent long by Mayufo. Back for it, Daly.
Well played by Daly, wins his team a goal kick. McIntyre was really trying to dispossess him.
And we talked about this Pitt team and the talent that they lost. Keep in mind, even as talented as they were, they still lost 5 matches last year. I mean, it's not like they ran through their opponents on their way to a College Cup appearance, and that's just the nature of the ACC. You're going to lose in the ACC. It is very, very challenging, the league itself. There's excellent soccer across the board year after year. It has been a dominant conference at the national level for years. As that ball they try to work into Ajago. Pitt's done a pretty nice job here spotting the dangerous goal scorer for the Blue Devils. Drew Kerr with it. Back out there for Duke. Chested down by Kenny Hott.
Good spell of possession for Duke here.
Ajago trying to create here, gets it to Kerr. Drew Kerr, that off a deflection, scooped up by the keeper Carter. Now a turnover and a long fire with the left foot by Masalis.
And that's not what Pitt wants to be doing. They can't be giving the ball away in the middle of the park and inviting pressure from Duke. So they'll need to do a better job of taking care of the ball, working their way forwards.
Up the middle, little touch forward now, and Hott going back for it, but Pitt wins it. And Mercado springing it out. And now here comes Toure. Toure into the danger zone, leaves it off. Sam Cowell's shot and a save by Eyestone. Rebound attempt. Eyestone there again. Tremendous chances for the Panthers, but the freshman keeper, Julian Eyestone, equal to it.
2 game-saving saves by the goalkeeper there. Toure finds his way through. Sam Cowell, the first shot. McIntyre, the second. Eyestone just doing a tremendous job of making his body as big as it can be and smothering the ball.
You see why he was such a highly regarded recruit, reclassified into the 2023 class so that he could join this Duke program. He has started since day one. Mirkovic with the corner here, and he gets 2 hands on it this time, does Eyestone.
Great goalkeeper play back there.
How about the setup by Toure, though? You mentioned the spark that he can bring down that wing. He got that all cooking for Pitt, and we'll see if they go to that well more here.
Yeah, and it's a different look. He's got a lot more speed than Michael Sullivan playing the right wing, so it's definitely going to be something for Duke to handle.
Mirkovic caught from behind by the opposite 21 on the field in Forrester Ajago. And Ajago, 11 goals, no assists, but 11 goals this year. The leader in goals and points, shots on goal in the ACC. And now Amir Daly. Daly working it off, and this one chipped high and over the goal by Wolfie, Olfer Bjornsson. See Julian Eyestone there. Watch this again. Sam Cowell right in front of the PK line. Then back, another attempt there for Evan McIntyre.
Superb goalkeeping.
8 saves.
Yeah, really good stuff. Potentially game-saving saves right there.
Now, we asked about Eyestone when we talked to John Kerr, and he said, you know, the talent is obviously there, and you know, he reclassified his. We're glad that he did that because he has just been a mainstay on that back line, and that ball sent long, dangerously so, but over the goal it goes. And Julian Eyestone, I mean, he benefits a lot. Eyestone does from Daly and Acito and Lopez, the guys in front of him, and what they do defensively. But there's a situation, those guys break down, he bails them out.
Yeah, and he's had some big-time experiences, too, coming through FC Dallas Academy and training with the U.S. National Under-17 team. So he's been exposed to the best coaching in the world.
His size as well, 6'6" in goal. He is a lengthy keeper. Carter on the other side, 6'2", but both have done the same tonight. Zeros on the scoreboard. Now Periano. See Toure getting back to that, saved on that far side of the field.
Periano's been really good working from side to side through this Duke midfield.
Amir Daly trying to get something going, gets it off Kerr's way. Kerr with a step, some speed, left-footed, and that is up and into Mercado. Kerr put his hands up thinking that ball maybe played with the arm.
Duke really putting Pitt under some good pressure right now. Pitt struggling to find their way out of their defensive half.
And now a trio of subs stepping on for Duke here. Thomas, one of them back in. Cameron Fisher on. Just the 6th match that he has played, the transfer from North Carolina.
Pitt will be happy to see those two leaving the field, even if it's just for a brief period of time. They've both been problematic.
They also bring on Jai Bean. And now a quick chance for Fisher. Steered aside. Foul called.
Jai Bean, the Bermudian international.
Now, he has been with Team Bermuda, the senior team, up until this week. He just got back from the Bermuda national team. There are worse places in the world to call home.
I have been to Bermuda, and I will tell you, it is a spectacular country.
It is beautiful there.
Been there too?
Yes, it is gorgeous.
Yeah. Pink beaches.
Pink beaches, yep. That is what they are known for. Friendly people as well.
Yeah. Dark and stormies as well.
If that's your thing, you are absolutely correct.
Love Bermuda.
Kerr getting the leg out there. He trips up Mayufo. Mayufo's been very active, and I think kind of, David, in a calming sense as well. Pitt, at times, this thing's gotten back and forth here in the second half, and Mayufo seems to always be the guy that just sort of settles the Panthers down a little bit, which you always need a player like that, a junior.
Yeah, he's been good, and he is one of the guys that's been virtually ever present for Pitt this year. Started every game himself. Gilman, Carter being the three that have been out there each game.
I mean, outside of goal, think about that. Only 2 players that have played every match. It's not like, say, a basketball season or baseball where you get 30, 60 games, whatever the case is. I mean, your opportunities are limited, and that opportunity to gain chemistry, which is just so important in this sport, has just not been there for Pitt. That said, still ranked 23rd in the country with all their goals right in front of them. Same thing on the Duke side as well, at 8-3-1 this year. Really positive year, a top 10 ranking for the Blue Devils. Duke with what they believe to be a special team.
Yeah, and as good as Duke is this year, they were even better the last 2 years. Last season only had 2 losses, and one came in the ACC tournament, the other in the NCAA tournament, so they had an undefeated regular season last year.
Now here they come. This is Cameron Fisher. Fisher only 78 minutes registered this year. And he came in from North Carolina, the rival. Played 54 games at Carolina from 2019 until last season. As we peek at the resume of the Blue Devils as they head towards the NCAA tournament. Both of these teams should be there. Pitt with maybe a little work to do in that regard. But given Pitt's strength of schedule, you would think that they would. And you see just the resume of the Blue Devils. They're going to be in. Pitt with that big win over Wake Forest, the victory over Denver as well. And what we don't have on there, the RPI obviously 22, their strength of schedule second in the country, trailing only VCU. And that could very well go up after this game, after this week, when they play Notre Dame coming up in the next week as well. Abdoulaye Touré low in, and Eyestone for it.
And yeah, Pitt has 4 losses, but all 4 of those losses have come to teams ranked higher than their 23 right now. So even though they have 4 losses, it's to 4 teams that are all in the top 25.
Periano making a move. Mirkovic, the quick touch.
Duke's been really good at pressuring Pitt in their own half. Even when they lose the ball, they work really hard to win it back or make it difficult for Pitt to build anything out.
You know, David, I think that's why when we talked about the possession in that first half, yes, Pitt had the better of the possession, but a lot of that was under siege at times in their own end because of that aggressive attacking nature of the Blue Devils.
Yeah, they're very determined with their game plan. They know how they want to play. They want to possess it through the midfield, create goal-scoring opportunities in the final third of their opponents.
Mirkovic tripped from behind by Kenny Hott. Kenny's real name is Keenan, but goes by Kenny. Out of Lincroft, New Jersey. Dad played at Seton Hall. Duke gonna win a throw here. Well, we're now getting into the latter stages, the final 20 of this scoreless match.
You see Duke continuing to change their personnel, utilizing their depth. Coach Kerr talked about the fact that there's not enough playing time for all of his players to go around. And so while Pitt's been affected by a lot of injuries, Coach Kerr talked about his only injuries really are sore feelings from guys that aren't playing as much as they want to be playing. But, you know, that's the benefit of having a healthy squad, is you've got those kind of problems, and it takes a lot of conversation with a lot of people, and you need all your players bought in, waiting for their opportunities and knowing what to do with it when they get it.
One player that has been injured for them is Axel Gudbjornsson, sophomore defender who was on the ACC all-freshman team last year. He has not played yet this year. He has been involved in training with them. That is a huge piece of their team that has not played at all this year. Had a big goal for them in the NCAA quarterfinals last year against Creighton. Ended up falling in that match, but a good player is Gudbjornsson. Another one of those Icelandic nationals on this Duke team. Sam Cow trying to get it cooking for Pitt again. And a trip, a takedown, but a foul. It's going to go the other way. Feitosa went down, but he'll get called with the foul. They restart play quickly, as that is Lopez who hops up to his feet.
Pitt was a little bit more direct in their build-up there, getting the ball up quick.
Both sides obviously still very much looking for a win. A draw would not be a bad result for either team. Pitt would certainly benefit much more from a victory, but a draw against the 9th-ranked team in the country is not a bad result.
Yeah, you're right there. I mean, I don't think about that as much, but you're right. A tie is not a bad result for either team. For Duke on the road at Pitt, you'd probably take a tie. For, as you mentioned, Pitt at home to number 9 team in the country, they probably wouldn't mind a tie, but you'd certainly prefer a win and coming out on the right end of the result. So we'll see if anyone's got a winner in them.
It's a good slide back there by Fabian Grau. Toure trying to track down Amir Daly, and maybe a little too much in that track down effort. Again, we did not know if we were going to see Toure for the Panthers. As you look at where these teams sit right now, just 1 point separating them in the Coastal. Pitt would hop ahead with a victory into that 3rd spot. They have lost to Virginia. They are yet to play the Fighting Irish. They will do that in South Bend next week. That has been a tough place to play traditionally. Those two teams have history with one another, as we saw last year. David and we were on that game here at Pitt.
Yeah, those two teams definitely got some history. I think it was Notre Dame that ended Pitt's season the year before in the ACC tournament and in the NCAA tournament. So definitely no love lost between the Panthers and the Irish. And yeah, it's a tough place to go play in South Bend.
Talked about the turf here. Jay Vidovich said, yeah, when we go to Notre Dame, we certainly won't be able to kick it around better at Notre Dame as we will tonight. They're trying to kick it around enough to get it into the goal. What a leave by Sam Cowell into McIntyre, but turned aside. Duke again strong defensively, recovering there, as that time it was Cameron Aceto.
Flashes of an opportunity there for Pitt.
Ball out over that far wing. The Pitt bench reacting to that as you take another look. Boy, what a touch. Passing it backwards by Luis Sam Cowell. Sam Cowell from Richardson, Texas, as Ajago comes back in. Sam Cowell born in Venezuela but moved to Texas when he was 7, went to Plano East. Here's some more trivia for you. Very, very famous world-class athlete, went to Plano East. Want to take any stabs at it?
Clint Dempsey.
It's not a bad guess. A cyclist, Lance Armstrong.
Never heard of him.
Jake Arrieta, longtime Major League Baseball pitcher. They have big-time history at Plano East from their athletics.
Lance Armstrong was married to Sheryl Crow, wasn't he?
That is, he was. Okay. That is true.
That's good.
Probably not the thing he is most well known for. As Carter on that back line will drive the ball out. He was standing beyond that end line.
Pitt's just not able to be consistent with their build-up play. Some heavy touches, some under-hit touches, not quite able to connect. Blue Devils have done a good job putting pressure on the ball, not really letting them build the way they want to.
Here is Ajago with it. We have not seen a lot of opportunity for Forrester Ajago.
Yeah,
in a sense, that's a good thing for Pitt, but in a sense, it probably has you a little bit concerned if you're Jay Vidovich that you haven't really seen him flash just yet.
Yeah, no, he's only going to take one chance to do some damage, but Pitt has done a good job of keeping him quiet to this point. Jackson Gilman's handled him pretty well. Got to meet Jackson Gilman's dad before the game. He was complimenting myself and the rest of the members of our crew on our broadcast, so I appreciate that from Mr. Gilman. He was down there talking to Lance Aitken.
His dad was a college baseball player down in North Carolina at UNC Asheville. Jackson on the ACC All-Freshman team last year. Freshman best 11 team by Top Drawer Soccer as well. McIntyre off to Sam Cowell. Pitt trying for something as this game gets into its later stages. A stop and a chance by Kozamara, Luka Kozamara. That one deflected, so a corner coming for the Panthers.
Kozamara's trying to line up the shot. You see Blue Devils doing a good job of getting themselves in front of the ball, not letting a clean opportunity for a strike happen. Same thing happened with Sam Cowell. He wasn't able to find the time or the yard of space to get the strike off. So Duke doing a good job of breaking up the Panthers' attack, not allowing them clean shots on goal, getting bodies between the ball and the goal.
Corner coming. And it's Eyestone again. He has come up with some big moments, some big plays for the Blue Devils here tonight. Long one up the pitch. Carter out for it, and he'll just kind of calmly boot it over towards the Pitt bench. It will get out of play for a throw.
That's something Carter does very well, is getting up out of his box to kind of take away those long balls when teams threaten to get in behind the Pitt back line. Carter's a major reason they're able to disrupt that.
So after some breaks, some of the regulars coming back here for Duke. As we work into the 80th minute.
And that could be the difference tonight. Duke's depth, if they're able to continue to turn the screws on Pitt or find opportunities down the stretch here.
Yeah, they've been able to get some breathers for their attackers up front. Good work by Gilman there to fend off Ajago.
And that's something you see a lot, is the attacking players get breaks, but you rarely see defensive players coming off for 15 minutes in the middle of a game just to get some air.
Periano, they get into the box to him, centered, and it's driven away by Pitt. Mirkovic, the quick touch. Sam Cowell. Mirkovic tried a little two-step around a man. Now it's worked out to Drew Kerr down the right side. Kerr waiting, looking to attack, and it's ripped away. Great job defensively there by Maufo. Now coming sliding in is Jorgensen. Here's Kerr back with it. Kerr to the middle. Look out, a chance for Duke, and a hard takedown in the box. No call made, as going down hard was Ofer Bjornsson.
Looked like a really well-timed tackle to me, and now Pitt's going the other way.
Here comes Feitosa. Just running out of steam, perhaps. Back at the other side was Kozamara. Watch it again.
That's a great tackle. Maufu gets his foot in there right before the strike. See here, he's lining up for a rip right there, but the tackle's made.
It's a play that obviously there's danger in making that play, but you have to, right? You can't let him have that opportunity, whether it ends up in a PK or not.
Yeah.
You have to go in hard and try to make that play.
Yeah, and you got to time out right to make sure you win the ball and don't concede the penalty. So it's on a knife edge for sure.
Here's Sealy hopping up, crosses in. McIntyre there. Feitosa. Back out Mirkovic. Can Pitt's leader and career assists help with something here late for the Panthers?
No goals so far this season for Mirkovic as well, so we'd expect him to get himself on the score sheet before it's all said and done this season.
A turn and run by Maufo into Sam Cowell. Sam Cowell waits, drops it off. A chance, Feitosa, and it goes wide. And he puts his head in his hands.
Good build-up and an opportunity created by Pitt. Sam Cowell's got some time. He picks out Feitosa. He just drags it across the front of goal. Doesn't get the clean connection to be able to drive it.
Back at the other end. Slowing it down. David, still clean in your eyes?
Yeah, I'm going with a good tackle there.
Yeah, I think that foot was on the ball first. Definitely contact, but it looks like the foot of Maufo got on the ball.
Bang, bang play, though.
Yeah, when you see it live and it's so fast, you understand why the Duke faithful that have made the trip here were up in arms.
And I think it's interesting with the replay rules is if the ref gives a penalty, he can go back and look at it on the replay. But if it doesn't give a penalty, he doesn't get another look at it. So sometimes I think referees give penalties to have the benefit of going to look at it.
Pitt trying to spring out there. That was a near opportunity, but Drew Kerr, it was a big stop. That might have been a nice chance for the Panthers. That one's sent in looking long. The Blue Devils are there for Bjornsson, but comes clean to Carter. Crunch time here for Pitt and Duke. These two teams, both of them 500 right now in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Can one surge ahead? Duke with a 1-point lead in the standings with that 3-3 ACC mark.
Both teams been trying to find a way through. Neither team with really great opportunities in this second half.
Oh, that one came in for Ajago. It looked like it hit him in the back of the leg. He has been so quiet here, thanks in large part to the way that Pitt has marked him.
Yeah, Pitt's done well from a defensive standpoint as well. You know, Duke coming in here, getting a lot of shots on goal.
Oh, look out. Carter gives it away, and a chance and a stop by Carter. What a giveaway to Bjornsson, or Jorgensen rather, and Jorgensen nearly made him pay. Carter, well, just a clear mistake there, and look at Ajago. He put his hands up.
I'm stunned he didn't find the back of the net there. Just doesn't get a good connection.
That would have been disastrous.
You just really got to pick a corner and slide it home.
Maybe the late close there by Grau distracted him a tad, but a bad giveaway by Carter, and no one is breathing a bigger sigh of relief than the sophomore keeper.
Yeah, that would have been definitely a harsh blow, but they survived that moment. Arguably the best chance of the game just provided there,
right.
And that's why, you know, mistakes are so pivotal in games. Mistakes get punished, but they got away with one there. Carter's been pretty solid all season, so it's definitely uncharacteristic, but he for sure got away with it. And Pitt living dangerously right now.
Ball sent out right wing. Here is Drew Kerr with it. As the match gets into the final few minutes, and a trip and a foul. Kozamara in there, and a late opportunity perhaps arising again for the Blue Devils.
Nice set piece opportunity, a silly foul. Don't want to be giving teams opportunities for a set piece there.
You see the leg get up, the left leg of Kozamara.
So Pitt coming a little bit unglued right now. They're going to need to firm themselves, steady the ship for the last 4 minutes.
Mariano, he will not take it. Instead, it's Masalis. It's directed out, and that clean. And now Pitt trying to counter the other way. Can they get numbers? Look at the white jersey sprinting down the field, but Duke getting back defensively as they nix that.
Silly couldn't find anyone there. Just kind of dinked it in.
This one back to Carter.
We'll see if either team has a winner in them. At this point, it may be harsh, but that's the nature of the game.
By the way, David, while we have just a quick second, congratulations, Pitt's soccer SID, Louis Spina. He and his wife welcoming their second child this week. Louis not here tonight, but I'm sure he is watching at home with a new baby boy, Knox. Congratulations to he and his wife, Mary.
Congratulations. It's an exciting time.
Ball worked in. And, oh, that's going to go out off of Acito. And a late corner coming here for the Panthers. The crowd pounding their feet against the bleachers, making some noise, trying to rally for Pitt here.
So we'll see if Pitt's able to do anything from this corner opportunity. You see they won it from the missed touch. They've wasted quite a few of these corners, just playing them in Eyestone's hands, so they're going to need to look for a different look to not let the keeper gobble it up.
Mirkovic. Can he find a way to set up another Pitt goal? 2 minutes remaining, and it's knocked back out. Well, that ball given away. Drew Kerr with the intercept, and now the Blue Devils with some steam.
Drew Kerr has been good with his time on the field tonight.
Kenny Hott. Oh, then Hott, the push from behind.
As you mentioned at halftime, we want to congratulate Joe Luxbacker getting in the Hall of Fame,
Absolutely.
being acknowledged here tonight. Pitt's all-time leader in goals with 37 and points with 84. Also coached the team for 32 seasons. So congratulations to Joe Luxbacker getting in the Pitt Sports Hall of Fame. Pitt's only ever had 3 coaches in their history. I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
And Jay Vidovich got to do about another 22 years to catch up with their tenures.
I think Jay would be the first to tell you he might not have that many years left in him to coach.
There you see Coach Luxbacker, legend from his playing days and his coaching days.
Leo Bemis got it all started. Leo, Joe, and Jay.
You like it?
You're only allowed to have 3 letters in your name.
That's
if you're going to coach here at the University of Pittsburgh.
Who knew?
That was a great catch by you before we started today's match. Time running down here, 20 seconds. Can Pitt get a late one? A ball in, a header on, and it just goes wide. Oh, a brilliant chance, and bodies all over the field for Pitt. They thought that they had the winner. Feitosa flying in, nearly won it for Pitt.
Really great opportunity created. You see Maufu out here on the left-hand side is able to deliver the ball. Feitosa connects, is just inches wide. Great opportunity, just wide of the mark, and it seems like no one's going to win this game. It looks like it's going to be on as even here tonight. Feitosa is able to recover. None the worse for wear, just bruised pride of not having been able to find the back of the net.
You could see the look in his face, just looking up to the sky. Painful. As time runs out, this is not a bad result for either side, given the circumstances. Pitt so close with Feitosa here at the end, just off the mark with the header.